Welcome to Fitness Protocols with your boy Brando. Good morning, my friend. In this episode, we're going to dive into critical exercises that I find to be most effective for biceps, triceps, and forearms, also known as Arms Day, that can be completed at home with only dumbbells. If she said girth doesn't matter, and you believed her, aww, a hallmark moment. She never said that. If this is an arms race, we're coming in first. We always come first. She might have said that. Anywho, this marks episode 6 of what I'm calling the Dumbbell Files. If you're just tuning in, no biggie. These episodes aren't in any particular order. Each episode contains specific insight tailored to certain exercises. You don't want to miss a minute, man. We're not fluffing around here. You order some fluffs? Go. Size is the prize here, and we're in pursuit of them 20-inch arms that will have women drooling and men also drooling. I've been in the field of health, fitness, and nutrition for over 15 years. My burning desire is to share knowledge, experience, and methods to living a sober, productive, and meaningful life via bodybuilding, powerlifting, and macronutrition enrichment. In this episode, we'll discuss warm-up strategies, a solid at-home arms routine, techniques for gaining size and strength, circuit training, variation training, insider pro tip, and the program that makes gains possible. But first, let's discuss the reasons why our arms struggle to grow. Our arms consist of bicep, meaning 2, and tricep, meaning 3. Majority of your arm is actually tricep. If you're struggling to make gains in the arm department and your main focus is biceps, that's your issue. A larger tricep focus equals larger arms. Thank me later. Now, I've structured this arm routine to minimize rest periods and maximize the amount of reps achievable within a 1 hour period to maximize muscle gain. Now, biceps, triceps, and forearms are considered smaller muscle groups, and they respond better to an increase in volume, meaning more repetitions. I had an economics teacher in high school. His name was Mr. LaRue, but everybody referred to him by his nickname, which was Lash. He's a wonderful man. I was 17 years old at the time, and I recall asking him one day, I said, Lash, do you ever just get tired of the monotony of doing the same thing day in and day out? Backstory, I was working weekends, evenings, and going to school during the day, all through my junior year in high school. I never had a day off unless I called in sick. The full schedule was exhausting. I'll never forget his response. He said, Brandon, life is full of repetition. You better get used to it. If you want to be a better ball player, repetition. You want to be a better golfer? Repetition. You want to be a bodybuilder? Repetition. Repetition is king. Now, by training opposing muscle groups, meaning biceps and triceps together, we're forcing more blood, meaning oxygen and nutrients, to the target areas, which then in return promotes greater muscle growth. First off, we always warm up, priming the target area preemptively. We must be proactive about injury prevention. Remember, injury prevention first and gains second, because all gains are lost if we injure ourselves. Once we get the blood flowing and we're primed for the work ahead, we can begin our circuit training, which is when you stack exercises upon one another consecutively with no breaks in between, and then resting 1 to 2 minutes after each round. For circuit 1 will be diamond push-ups, hammer curls, and rolling forearm curls. For diamond push-ups, we'll be applying the half/partial rep method for keeping constant tension on the tricep. C.T. Fletcher said it best. He said, don't worry about my range of motion and get our butts into motion. Then hammer curls with explosive reps. This is blast and squeeze with a slow return on the eccentric phase of the repetition. I like to add in some cheat reps as we increase the load. Next is rolling forearm curls. Notice we intentionally place these after the hammer curls to keep constant tension on the forearms, because the forearms are predominantly a slow twitch muscle fibers, like our core, which means they require a lot more stress and TUT, time under tension, to make forearm gains. Circuit 2 is dumbbell overhead tricep extensions, short range concentration curls, and farmer's walks. For dumbbell overhead tricep extensions, we're utilizing a deep stretch of the long head of the tricep. We want a full range of motion here. Next is short range concentration curls. Here we're working on the peak of the bicep, specifically the inner peak. This should burn. You should be feeling this. Lastly is the farmer's walks. This really torches the forearms by placing this last after you've already done the dumbbells into the short range rep. So your forearms are under constant tension, and you get a little bit of trap activation with this movement as well. It's kind of cross-platformed. Your forearms will be on fire from this, I promise you. And that's how you know it's working. I also like to add fat grips to this for additional burn. It's not really necessary. You're going to find this effective just by itself without the fat grips. But if you want to invest for additional burning gains, by all means. Now note that our heart rate should be up from doing the circuit training, but our breathing shouldn't be laborsome. If you find you need more time between rounds, take extra time. Take that extra rest period until your breathing's under control. This is a marathon after all, and not a 50-yard dash. We're training for longevity here. Circuit number 3 is dumbbell kickbacks, seated dumbbell curl twists, and reverse forearm curls. For dumbbell kickbacks, we're going to add some variation training in here. Variations is when you change one element, angle, or position that deviates from the standard training method. Here we're focused on the outer head of the tricep, right here. By flaring our arms and rotating our wrists, focusing on the mind-to-muscle connection. We're not using a lot of weight here. For seated dumbbell curls with twists, we're adding countdown reps, holding the rep at the concentric phase for 5 seconds, then 4 seconds, then 3 seconds, then 2 seconds, then 1 second. This invokes a strong mind-to-muscle connection. I love these. And for reverse forearm curls, we're just pumping it out. Simple as that. Getting as many reps in as we can, focusing on building balanced forearm growth. Circuit 4 is chair dips, single dumbbell narrow curls, and reverse grip curls. Dips are a powerful tool for creating powerhouse triceps. We're going for a full range of motion here, activating all 3 heads of the tricep. Single dumbbell narrow curls are great for building high peaks, which I love, and reverse grip curls for their balancing the forearm muscles. We want to have well-rounded forearm size and strength. And you'll find this, you'll see it, if you follow this program exactly as it's laid out, you'll see a vast increase in your forearm strength, which will prove beneficial in future training sessions if you decide to do any deadlifting, especially in the powerlifting world. Lastly, I like to finish the day out with a superset of 21s. This exercise is partitioned into 3 sets of 7 reps. 1 from the base to midway, 1 set from midway to the peak of the movement, and 1 set at a full range of motion. Hence the reason they're called 21s. It's important to pick a manageable weight when you're doing the 21s, but don't be afraid to cheat a little bit. 1 set of each of dumbbell curls and skull crushers. I'm typically pretty worn out by the time I get to this. This is an excellent finisher. If you can't get 21 reps, just go to failure. Now, with each circuit, we'll start with a lighter load, and we'll increase the load every round, adding weight, until 5 reps is all that we can manage. For some of us, that's only 3 rounds. For others, it may be 5 rounds. I find that 3 rounds of each circuit to be the perfect blend. But work at your own pace and try to increase the volume/rounds over time. That's the formula to muscle gain. In this routine, I've incorporated all 5 techniques for getting size, strength, and breaking plateaus, which I discuss in this episode here. Now for the insider pro tip. The body prefers balance and symmetry. If one muscle group becomes overdeveloped, it will become increasingly difficult to create further growth until the opposing muscle group catches up. This includes balancing upper and lower body work. The catch-22, my friend. You gotta hit legs. By evaluating our muscle imbalances and shifting our focus to lagging areas, adding a few extra reps and sets to that area, we once again see further growth moving forward. Now this is a balanced routine, but feel free to make adjustments to it as necessary. Make it your own, bud. For example, if fat loss is your goal, adding some calisthenics such as burpees, jumping jacks, mountain climbers, or box jumps to each circuit can really ramp up fat loss exponentially. Allowing all that hard work and muscle gain to shine through. The great unveiling, if you will. Now let's talk about the program that makes all these results possible. Talking about nutrition, sleep, weight training, and cardio. We call this the program. By following the program, we're optimizing our body's function. This is U to the second power. This is U to the third power, U to the fourth power, U to the fifth power, amplifying your results many times over. This is maximizing efficiency. Let's break down nutrition. This is, if we're bulking, that's going to be 1.5 grams to 2 grams of protein per day. A recomp would be 1.2 to 1.5 grams, and a cut / maintenance is 1.25 grams of protein per day. 3 to 4 servings of vegetables per day, and 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day. We want to have a diverse range of different foods that will strengthen our gut health. That's your immune system. It will optimize body function while alternating the foods you eat daily will also prevent food sensitivities. We want to maximize our ability to process proteins and be in good health. Having a shot of apple cider vinegar every morning, and it has to say with mother on it, will provide our bodies the proper prebiotics for a good, diverse, healthy gut. Sleep. Adequate sleep will ensure consistency. Our progress is made after the work is finished and while resting. Deep quality sleep is how our bodies heal, repair, and remove toxins. If we're well rested, our minds and bodies are ready to embrace the day. For resistance training, we're trying to squeeze in as many high-quality reps as possible in the shortest amount of time. This will maximize our results and muscle gain. Every day that we work out, we're going to do 15 to 20 minutes of cardio. Treadmill, elliptical, bike, run outside. The choice is yours. Remember, resistance training first, cardio second. During the resistance training, we burn up the glycogen storage, which is the energy stored inside the muscle from the food that we eat. Once the glycogen stores are burned up, all that's left by the time we get to the cardio is fat. Pure fat burn. That's what we want. Also, cardio strengthens our lungs, flooding our blood with oxygen, which improves sleep and improves future training sessions, which then all that further strengthens our immune system. I also want to note that I find the greatest results stem from loading and deloading protein and carbohydrates. For example, high protein and low carb at the beginning of the week, and as the week progresses, we reduce the proteins and increase the carbs. Keep in mind, we're never reducing the proteins below 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. This is really a form of carb cycling, which I'm going to get into in future episodes. I'm not going to cover it today, but so stay tuned for that. Also, periodically, on a monthly basis, I fast for 24 hours. Entire day of no eating. This gives the body a break, a bit of a reset. The health benefits for this became painfully evident via my blood work. It's amazing how much this improved my health. Sometimes the body just needs a break, even from food. Now, it can be challenging to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. For help with that, check out my episode on how to increase protein intake on a budget. Also, if you're curious about powerlifting, check out my video on how to bench press 315 pounds in 90 days here. Receive my first donation via Cash App, which is in the description of every one of my videos, which also contain a link to a free macro enrichment guide and a copy of the push-pull legs workout program as well for those interested. I really appreciate the contribution. If the person is watching, thank you very much. When I've received enough donations to pay for a container of pre-workout or protein powder, someone will have the opportunity to win the product as a prize. Free of charge, of course, so stay tuned. Meet me at the gym. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this episode, found it helpful or informative, please hit the like button. A like goes a long way to help me grow my channel, and I deeply appreciate it. Feel free to drop a comment. I do read all the comments, and I appreciate the feedback. If you want to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button. I try to post as often as possible. I can also be found on YouTube Podcast and Spotify at Fitness Protocols with Brando. Thanks again for watching. Let's grow a stronger mind, body, and spirit one day at a time. Until next time.